Good evening. It's 6:30 p.m. on Monday, January 23rd, 2023. And now I'd like to call the Winton Woods City School Board of Education meeting to order. Please silence your phones and stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Seymour, would you please call roll?
Mr. Birdie?
Present.
Ms. Bryant? Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Smith? Mrs. Kuhn?
Present. Thank you. I'd like to move on to our first agenda item, which is our district honors and recognition gifts and the introductions from Mr. Smith. If you'd like to go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah, we're going to be out of order just a little bit because we have a young lady that's being recognized, but we need to make sure she gets to the game in time so we can have another victory, okay? So I'd like for Jada to come up to the podium. All right, Mom and Dad, when I read this, no tearing up, no crying, okay? All right? All right. So this is from her coach, James Lyle. Jada's a fantastic person, scholar, and athlete. She has been a captain of the women's soccer team for the last 2 years. She leads by example in regards to her attitude and work ethic. Every day she strives to improve and encourages others to do the same. This year she was our most talented and experienced player, and we will miss her tremendously next year unless her parents allow her to stay another year. Okay, all right. I just made that part up because I see her around. I'm going to miss her. So if we could figure out something, I know you have all the grades and everything, but man, if we could keep you one more year, that would just make me happy. All right. I know that she will move on and continue to dedicate herself to being the best she can be. Those who get to share their lives with her will be blessed. From girls basketball coach Gabby Downey, congratulations to Jada Knighton for being selected as the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month. Jada's highlight this month was hitting a clutch three-point shot in an overtime win against Warrensville. Jada also knocked down 2 3-point shots and scored 10 points, grabbed 4 rebounds, and dished out 4 assists in a win against Anderson. Whoa, that's pretty amazing. So to be nominated, though, you maintain an academic standard of at least a 3.0, show respect for coaches, teammates, officials, teachers, and other students and families, show enthusiasm and a positive attitude, display commitment to practice games and personal skill development, demonstrate honesty in playing by the rules, and have high moral character. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline Chili Restaurant, a business partner of Winton Woods City Schools. Student athletes who are honored receive a Skyline gift card. So, thank you. On the back. Okay. So, Mom, I saw Mom at the game Friday. Was it Saturday? And she says, "Hey, my daughter has to be in a big game. So, is it possible that she can be recognized early so she can make it to the game?" And we want to make sure that we are able to do that. But Jada contacted me and she says, "Superintendent, can I say a few words?" And I'm saying, "Sure, you can." All right. Let's get the family up. Okay, photo picture. Mom, Dad. Awesome student. Fantastic. All right, fantastic. Thank you. So look for the cover of Sports Illustrated. You might see her. The next award is the District Honors Recognitions and Gifts and for the Art Gallery winner. And Mr. Dave Simon is not here. Is there a teacher taking Mr. Simon's place? No teacher. Let me draft someone. Okay, Ms. Trouser. Oh. So the eighth grade, the middle school had a great art contest, and the superintendent selection, is Poet here? Poet, come on. So this one is actually the superintendent selection. Poet, tell us a little bit about your piece. Oh, there it is.
Okay, there's actually a long story of this. So, when Mr. Simon assigned us, actually, was just a regular landscape piece that we were supposed to do a sort of.
Come to the mic so it can be recorded.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Simon really just wanted us to do like a regular, ordinary landscape thing with a villain in it. And it had to be like, it could have been watercolor because that's the thing that he provided us, but he didn't really specify which one. I was just like, which one is that? Like, oh, I don't care about it. I was like, okay. I don't like watercolor because I don't like watercolors on these types of art stuff. It just doesn't get the vibe. So I'm kind of like a painter at home, so I got out some acrylic paint and just started painting away. And I kind of had an idea because I wanted a little Chinese landscape on it. And so I just started doing everything, but I wanted a bird's eye view. And I wanted the little farming field in the corner because it's, I don't know, it just symbolizes more. I feel like that's what's needed in the picture. And plus I had a little extra space, so I could just use it for that. The different colors and tones was about the shadows and the light of it when the sun kind of reflects off some of the houses. That's what I was kind of going for. And I wanted a few sakura trees because it was a great symbolization of the actual work because it's well known for having sakura trees in their country. The villain was going to be the skeleton animals, which was like the binding animals, because I just felt like it needed that. I had some white ink pen, so I just started doing that, and you could just see the bones of it. And I like that's the horse and that's the cow. And the road, and yeah, that's about everything. So that was about the
She really doesn't like art.
No.
I mean, you can tell. But you know what? I think you did a great job. A round of applause here. Amazing.
I can't even draw a stick figure. That is gorgeous.
All right, fantastic. So who came with you tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. Let's get a picture. And Miss Vincent? Yeah.
Nice job.
So the next selection, there were two selections for the principal. Principal could make up his mind, so each picked two. And where is Miss Castro and Miss Camacho? Which one are you? Castro, come on up. Miss Vincent, all right. So this is Miss Castro's piece. Wow, very nice. Awesome. All right. All right, where's your family? Come on up, family. The next recipient is Ella Sullivan. Is Ella here tonight? Yes.
Oh,
Oh, is that the little,
I wonder if that's the pet
is that the
food.
pet? Is that the pet? Is that the guinea pig that the district owns or whatever? Okay.
Wow.
So much talent.
I think we talked about this guinea pig last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the middle school, we have an emotional support animal, and it's up at the Culture and Climate Center, and this one looks a lot like Guinea. And so I'm the one that selected this one, because I thought the detail of the fur, and it looks so lifelike. So I picked it, and congratulations, it's beautiful.
Family? Family, come up for a picture, please. Ella, I do have one question. Who inspires you to be this talented artist? Which parent? That's what we thought. Fantastic. So the next award goes to a really incredible young lady. Courtney Lloyd. Winton Woods Middle School has selected Courtney Lloyd to be recognized for exemplary display of trustworthiness on our campus. Courtney is a stellar student who excels academically. She is a 2-year member of the Student Ambassadors and is assisting in the development of a peer mediation group. Wow, that's amazing. Courtney is known to seek opportunities to assist teachers and staff members in any way possible. It is an honor for us to recognize her for her contributions to our warrior community. Students are selected for the Kiwanis Characters Key based on trustworthiness and means being honest in words and actions, doing what is right even when no one else is looking. How many of you can say that? Doing right when no one is looking? Okay, one hand, that's good. All right. Keeping promises, being loyal to a person or cause. Courtney, we are absolutely very, very proud of you. Thank you. Come on up. Okay, Courtney, you want to say a few words?
I'm so happy that I got this. I didn't know, like, I never
Very good.
thought that I would get recognized because I'm like really quiet at school, and I'm so happy.
All right.
Courtney was a unanimous decision. This was easy, her name was put out there, and it was unanimous with all the teachers and staff. She's a wonderful young lady. I work with her with the ambassadors, student ambassadors, and we could not think of anybody that would be a better representation of the middle school than Courtney.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Courtney's quiet demeanor reminds me of one of our board members, Dr. Johnson, just so quiet and stoic all the time. It's amazing. All right. Landon Anderson. So I read Landon's bio and his information several times on Friday and again today. There's something very impressive about it. So Landon, stand at the podium where I read. This is pretty long, but it's absolutely amazing. Landon Anderson has been recommended for Student of the Month, and I can think of no one more deserving with this honor. Landon has distinguished himself through his grades, earning a 3.7 GPA overall this year and a half in school, and so far, Landon has distinguished himself through athletics as a contributing player on the varsity football team. However, it is not these things that I want to recognize Landon for today. I feel that Landon's attitude and initiative is what separates him from most of the rest of his peers. When Landon is not in school or on the field, he is keeping himself busy as a full-time entrepreneur. He owns his own business, making hoodies and t-shirts out of his house. Wow. Let me know when you start making suits, all right? The business even has its own LLC. Landon has set big goals for himself, which is why he's applying for the Selective Early College Academy through Miami University. Wow. If he earns a spot, he will become a full-time college student during his 11th and 12th grade year and a graduate of high school with a full associate's degree. So we've been working with Miami University on this, and I'm happy that Landon has been selected because the students that are being selected will actually attend Miami University for junior and senior year, and then when they finish, they will earn their high school diploma and an associate's degree, which means parents have already paid for half of their next opportunity for their bachelor's. So we have about 15 students that have been selected. It's a hard process to get into, but I'm happy that Winton Woods was part of that group. That's not the most impressive part about this young man, all right? A couple of months ago, Landon came to me with an idea for school. He wanted to do a fun, student-centered event on the last day of the semester. He shared with me some of his ideas, and I told him to create a presentation that we can take to the principal. The next day, Landon put together a very thorough, well-thought-out slideshow, complete with rationale, activities, and even expectations to share with students during the event. We presented this to Mr. Martin, and he was very impressed. So we began working on the event. We held several planning meetings to get ready for the big day, and he had enlisted the help of some of the other students. That's not the most impressive part of Landon, all right? So we got the football, we got the Miami, we got the plan, and now here we go. This event was incentivized privilege for students who had no D's or F's and no referrals. A few days before the event, Landon came to school feeling ill. All right, you feel better today? All right, good. Due to his altered state, Landon ended up getting into a spirited altercation with a good friend of his. This resulted in Landon getting a referral. To be honest, I was not sure what to do. On the one hand, Landon had worked so hard for this event, and this referral was definitely an anomaly for him. On the other hand, if we had let him attend after he received the referral, it couldn't be seen as hypocritical. I brought Landon in to discuss the referral. Landon immediately owned his behavior. He had already apologized to his friend and smoothed things out. I didn't tell him this, but I was all ready to allow him to help run the big event when he brought up and said, "I can't go." I'm not above the rules. This told me everything I needed to know about this character and what he represents. Landon made a mistake and was ready to accept the consequences. He and I named the new MC for the event, and we continued the planning. He did not pout, but instead continued to put the same energy he always had into the meeting. In the end, the event was a big success, despite Landon not being there. There have probably not been too many students of the month who have just received the referral, but everyone makes a mistake. I think now how Landon handled this incident embodies the way we want our young people to learn and grow. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for this impressive young man. This is from Mr. Tash, counselor. Bravo.
I want to thank my mom, my four parents, my stepdad, my stepmom, my dad, raised me to to be a great young man. I want to thank the counselors, just giving me freedom, this opportunity, and just do everything I can. And I'm going to just continue to be a leader and go warriors.
Pretty good. Bring mom up. And these 15 people you named, bring them on up, Landon.
Just like his mama.
Great job. Get in there, Miss Coon. Yeah, squeeze in there.
So nice.
Awesome. So you see what that character counts. You know, he made his error, but he said, I don't deserve to be part of the activity because I didn't meet the qualifications. How many people would stand up and do that same thing? Some of us would say, give me one more chance. All right. The next person, Gregory Burns, Jr. This is from Coach Amstead. Greg has been an integral member of the Winton Woods cross-country team for the past 2 years. During this time, he has shown tremendous growth in both his athletic ability as well as his general outlook in life. Over the course of the past 2 years, Greg has improved his 5K time by over 20 minutes and has become a natural leader on the team. His positivity, work ethic, and support of his teammates have truly made an impact on the cross-country program at Winton Woods, which can be seen by the large number of underclassmen who joined and thrived under Greg's leadership. He has been a captain on the team, and he is truly deserving of this award, and I present Greg Burns.
So originally I joined cross country my junior year, coming out of the whole COVID situation, where I basically wasn't really present in the school at all during my sophomore year. I was just doing online classwork. But like coming out of quarantine, I just got my black belt in December of like 2019. So I thought I was in shape, and then I came out of quarantine my junior year, and I realized I wasn't. Like I was 40 pounds heavier than I was right now, and I could not run for much. So they realized some things had to change. Like, I had always been bad at running. It's been a trend since like gym class in 5th grade. And I decided it was finally time to change that. So, started my first ever 5K was over 40 minutes. I'm not afraid to admit that one. But the reason I stuck with it was because the community. Coach Amstead cheered me on like the literal entire race. It wasn't just him either. The crowd was also very supportive, and that's why I stuck with it. I wanted to give back to the people like me who, you know, might not be in the best condition to be doing a sport like this, but have the drive to improve themselves and want to keep going. We all need a little help in our lives every now and then. And someone's willing to improve, that's the least you can do is help them.
Bravo. So who came with Mr. Burns?
Very good.
And his mother does work for Winton Woods? School psych. Very good. All right, very good. Thank you. Greg, stand up for a minute. I'm trying to figure out this 40 pounds overweight deal.
Alright, so I was 190, started my junior year. I am 151 right now.
Okay, that's 40 pounds. Thank you, sir. All right. Simple math. Thank you. Got it. All right. Where is Taryn Atkins? So we keep talking about these incredible young people, but there has to be some incredible leaders guiding the young people, and that's where Taryn Atkins fits in. This is written by her incredible principal, Miss Liz Stiles. All right. Taryn Atkins is a dedicated educator who goes above and beyond for all students in her classroom. She creates an environment of excellence by setting high expectations while simultaneously meeting students where they are and propelling them forward. She believes in educating the whole child and strives tirelessly to make sure that students grow not only academically, but socially as well. She's a true leader in building and is an integral part of being the change she wants to see. Ms. Atkins has done amazing things in the building this year, and this is shown in her relationship with students, colleagues, and family. In order to be nominated for the Skyline Teacher of the Month, teachers must have excellence in the classroom, motivate students, leadership, creativity and imagination, dedication, and communication. The Skyline Teacher of the Month award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline Chili Restaurant, a business partner of Winton City Schools. Teachers who are honored receive a Skyline gift card. So, thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, students always get an option if they want to speak.
I don't have a choice,
Teachers.
do I? I would like to thank those of you who wanted to recognize me tonight. It really means a lot. I work with some amazing, talented, hardworking educators, and I know it wasn't an easy decision. And I learn a lot from everybody I work with every day. So the fact that I was chosen for this month means a lot about our educators at our building as well. So thank you again.
All right, So I watched the audience carefully, and this one guy's just been sitting here very content. But as soon as you went up, he just started smiling, so he must be somebody that you know.
Yes.
So come on up for a picture. There you go. Let me get the administrators come up with your teacher, please. Let's come on, come back up, come back up. Yeah, no, this is a family show, sir.
Very good.
Okay, the next one is the Winton Woods Board of Education thanks the following organization for their generosity and support of the district. The Forest Park Gardeners donated $1,000 to the Winton Woods Scholarship Fund to help support a deserving student in their college experience. And is Miss Jenny Kalbrenner here? Yes?
I will accept this on behalf of a number of very hardworking ladies, and we have tried to support our local school district and our community, and our children are our hope, our future. And we're hoping to share that love of gardening or horticulture with young people and encourage them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up. Somebody came with you. Come on.
You like
Come on,
that?
sir.
Come
Just
on.
make it just look great. Come on.
He's like, no.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll get you next time.
Thank you.
Is there a representative here tonight from Fostering Hope? We'll get them again. Fostering Hope donated $500 to the Winton Woods Early Childhood Central Campus to support the school's breakfast with Santa. All right. Now, in this day and age, Santas aren't cheap. They cost something. So there we go. Someone here from K&G Fashion Superstore. Wow. The K&G Fashion Superstore donated $884.90 to Winton Woods High Schools to support the student incentive program. One of the things that's going to happen this year with the Night of Freedom, it's not just going to be the Night of Freedom, it's going to be the elegant Night of Freedom. And so we want our kids to dress the part in their nice attire, and it's going to be a great place to shop. The K&G Fashion Superstore, I'm sure, will be open for our attention. And thank you very much. We appreciate you. And Miss Betty Cash.
Thank you.
You want to say a
Thank
few
you.
words? Yes.
Thank you.
Gotta put a plug in.
Yeah, just basically, we're starting our prom season in a couple weeks, and I'm going to leave a couple of flyers with you guys. We have some promotion coupons that when you come into the store that we would give to you. You tell us what school you're with. You can get 10% off the purchase for your student and whatever's in your total order. And then at the end of the year, the school will get 10% of the total purchase from your student body.
Very good.
Okay? So
Very,
we're
very
located
good.
up on Kemper Road, and just drop by and see us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Now, this next group is very impressive. I had to do a second take, Dr. Johnson, because when I looked, I thought this was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, but
know,
it's
that
not.
red and white walked
It's
in.
the West End Golf Club. And so I'd like for the whole club to come up. They donated $500 to the Winton Woods Nutrition Department to help families resolve the outstanding balances of their students'
very
meals.
good, very
That's
good.
right. Come on.
Anybody in a red and white shirt?
Actually, it was founded by Kappa Alpha Psi, so.
Hey, I knew we were in there
Was
somewhere.
it really?
Yeah.
Okay, there goes
Get a
the
little
colors.
plug in wherever we can.
Yeah. Did you know that?
They brought their own photographer and everything.
Yeah,
It's
she's like, I'm not-
amazing. So here we go.
Remember also.
Okay.
She said, I'm not.
On behalf of the West Golf Club, I would like to thank the Winton Woods School District and its board for this recognition. Our mission, 15 years ago, we started a scholarship golf outing to raise money to be able to give back to both all the communities inside of Hamilton County and to give out scholarships. Our goal was to reach 10 scholarships within 20 years, and I'm glad to say last year we were able to give out 8 scholarships, and every year we've given out at least 2 of those scholarships to Winton Woods students. So they get $2,000 every year goes to Winton Woods students for scholarships. So, and we've also been able to give away money to communities to help, needy families. At least a couple times a year, we've donated the same thing to the Winton Woods School District. We've been fortunate that several of our members have either graduated from Winton Woods
Bravo.
or worked for Winton Woods. So Winton Woods is like family to us. So we continue to strive to do the things that we do to help people in need across the entire city in Hamilton County. So once again, I'd like to thank y'all for y'all support and recognizing us in this effort, and we will continue to reach our goal. Hopefully by next year, this year even, we hope to reach those 10 scholarships and give away $10,000
$1 million?
scholarship.
$1 million? Is that
Well,
a goal?
I had a dream that I hit the lottery, so that $1 million is,
All right. Okay. You know what? This organization has been a long-standing supporter of the district. They're very humble people, men and women, and they just give from their hearts whenever we need something. I know that when our team won the state championship, Mr. Oliver came to me and he says, Superintendent, it is not appropriate for the boys to buy their own rings. We will help support this endeavor. So thank you for everything that you do, sir. All right. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now to the last main part of the show.
Am I here? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not the show.
you are the show. January School Board Recognition Month. The student, staff, and communities of Winton Woods City Schools join the Ohio School Boards Association to honor the exemplary leadership service and endless hours of dedication given by our elected board members on behalf of our school district and its communities. We thank our board members. Please stand as I call your name. Ms. Paula Kuhn, President. Ms. Deborah Bryant, Vice President. Board Member Jeff Birdie. Dr. Viola Johnson, and Mr. Brandon Smith. So Ms. Jackson's going to get a photo. If you guys can keep standing, just to let people know who you are.
Want to stand back here?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a little bit.
So that people know that we have the right spirit for our city, can you take one more picture and on three? 1, 2, 3. Go Bengals.
We say who they? Who they?
Yeah, very good.
That's why I was late.
So usually I ask them to do certain things, they do not cooperate, but in this particular situation, they couldn't wait. All right, Madam President and Board, those are all the awards and activities for this month.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. This is one of my favorite parts of the meeting, actually, and I want to congratulate our many recipients and that were acknowledged today. There's so many. There's Mr. Dave Simon, our teacher, and the student art gallery winners, our students recognized by Kiwanis and Skyline, partners who partner with our school district to help afford opportunities to our children and acknowledge the wonderful benefits that they have. I want to appreciate our Skyline teacher, Miss Taryn Atkins, as well as our partners, the KG Fashion, our Forest Park Gardeners, Fostering Hope, and the West Golf Club. Thank you so, so much for all that you do. Thank you for acknowledging the school board for what we do. It really is, I can speak for my member or my colleagues, we do this with work from our heart, and it's enjoyable work. It is a lot of time and energy, but it's really important for the students in our community to know that there's adults that support them and want to provide them with the educational opportunities to be successful. So thank you very, very much on that. So
One more piece, Ms. Kuhn.
Sure.
Sanaya. Sanaya's going to give you your official certificates.
Thank you.
So each person come up as you get your certificate. Sanaya.
Miss Paula Kuhn. Miss Deborah Bryant.
Got the middle name and everything. I know, my government name.
You are a government. Is that your middle? I always choose my middle initial.
Mr. Jeffrey Birdie. Dr. Viola E. Johnson.
I see you, don't come. Don't come for me, Deborah D.
And Mr. Brandon Smith.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
I see Dr. Johnson looking at the back. There are no Skyline gift cards on the back. It's black.
How about tickets to next week's game?
Let and get in there. Thank you, Sanaya.
Okay, thank you very, very much. The next agenda item is, we'll just take a 5-minute recess. Let us show appreciation to those here, and we'll reconvene in 5 minutes. Good evening, we'll call the meeting back to session. Our next point is, we have no public comments, so we'll skip over that. So 5.01, comments to the board from our associations. The Winton Woods Teachers Association, I don't know if we have a member, anybody that would like to speak. I don't see any, so we'll move on to our Ohio Association of Public School Employees. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Madam President, Madam Vice President, congratulations on your new positions.
Thank you.
And we just want to say Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the next agenda is 6.01, which is the approval of minutes as presented. And Board, if you can review, and unless you see any changes, I would ask for a motion.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the approved minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. Is there any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you call the vote?
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye. Vote passes unanimously. On to agenda 7.01, which is our treasurer's report of the financial statements for December 2022. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
Yes, you have in your board docs the copy of the report for the month of December. Page 1, reconciliation for December of '22. Also, on page 2, the general fund revenues year-to-date are at $25.1 million, and our month-to-date revenues were $1.9 million. Most of the revenue for the month of December was from the state of Ohio. On pages 3 and 4 are your expenditures by object and function. Our year-to-date expenditures on the general fund are at $25.6 million, and we're currently approximately 4% under budget, or approximately $2 million under budget. Also, on the last page, you have a activity for all funds, and each unencumbered balance for each fund is listed, and the total of all funds for the end of December was $13 million.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Seymour. With no objections being heard, let the financial statements for the month of December 2022 be submitted for audit. Or do you have, before we move on, go ahead.
Could you tell me on page, I think it's page 2, where it says rental fees and this estimated revenue, can you tell me what that means?
Rentals?
Rental fees?
We charge for people to utilize our facilities, and we, through our business office, and we charge. That's our revenues from collections for rentals.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, and without any other follow-up or questions, let the financial statements for the month of December 22 be submitted for audit. Moving on to agenda point 8.01, which is the treasurer's recommendations of investments for December 2022. Back to Mr. Seymour.
Yes, for the month of December, we had approximately $29 million invested for all funds, of which we earned $74,342 in interest. The general fund received $56,400 of that, and our building funds received $17,800 of those receipts.
Okay, any, well, before we have any comment, a motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the investment report as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you call the vote?
Sure. Mr. Birdie? Aye. Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye. The vote passes unanimously. On to agenda point 9, or agenda 9.01, which is the reports of the superintendent for school reports.
Yes, Madam President and Board, I actually dedicated the time for it because we had so many awards that we gave the time for the awards instead of the school reports because they reflect what's happening in the school.
Thank you. On to agenda 9.02, which is a first read. We're back to superintendent, please.
Yes, Madam President and Board, you'll be reviewing these policies this month, but you will be voting on the policies next month. And it's Policy 2431, Interscholastic Athletics, Policy 1617, Administration, which would be weapons, Policy 2413, career advising. Policy 2430, district-sponsored clubs and activities. 3217, professional staff weapons as well. And finally, 4217, classified staff weapons.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Are there any questions from the board right now? This is the first read. I don't know if you had a chance to look through, or if you have any preliminary questions. If not, it'll,
I think, did you mention 2280 program, preschool program?
I think I missed that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there's actually 7.
and career, you did say career advisory as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just to add, make sure
Yeah.
that we're looking at 7 different.
Yes,
Okay.
very good.
Thank you.
So, okay, so,
That one may have been taken.
we'll move on without any other questions, comments? No? We'll go ahead to the next agenda, item 9.03, which is a facilities update.
Yes, Madam President, I am going to move the facilities update when it's time for me to give you the ECCC construction change order.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll move on to agenda 10.01, which is superintendent's recommendations on personnel schedules.
Ms. Wilson?
Good evening. Before you, you have Schedules A, resignations, Schedule B, Schedule C, Schedule D, and Schedule E for your approval. If you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
Well, first, before we do that, I'd like to have a motion.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel schedules as presented.
I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. Go ahead with any comments or questions.
Schedule A looks like there's a number of special ed aides that are resigning. How is that going to affect us, and what are we doing with that?
Well, it puts us in a difficult position because a lot of the IEPs are dependent on their services. So we do have an active posting to replace some of our aides. And we are actively looking for people that love children, have some experience working with children with disabilities, and who can also pass a background check and work well with other adults.
Are we losing these aides to other opportunities, other districts?
2 of them on the schedule had circumstances where we encouraged them to move on, and they did so. And then, how many are, I don't have it in front of me.
1, 2,
It's
3,
4.
4.
4.
What was the question? What was the question?
My question was, are we losing these aides to other opportunities, other districts?
We're not losing them to, I assure you, we're not losing them to other districts.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, if I'm recalling, the other issue also has to do with the way that we pay our employees, and that is something that we are working on addressing, and that there's a concern about stretch pay. Because of our benefits, we have a process where we stretch 9 months of pay over 9 months of work over 12 months, which artificially decreases the take-home pay for our employees and allows them to maintain benefits over the summer without having to rely on them to come in and pay a check for their benefits or have a lapse in coverage. So that's a wonderful thing for some people, but it's also a hardship for others. And so we've had some conversation about it with OPSI. We've not changed it, and then the treasurer's office has worked with us for people that are hired after a certain date where they will allow us, if the employee is not accepting benefits to timesheet people so that, so that their hourly rate feels like the hourly rate, not substantially reduced. So that's the other issue that's driving some of the resignations.
Yeah, I've heard some teachers expressing their concerns with that stretch pay, so I'm glad that we're taking a look at that.
Yeah.
But isn't that a standard practice across
Yeah,
every
we don't really know a
educational,
district
I mean,
that's not
district?
doing it.
I've been a teacher for 30-something, 40, almost, I'm not gonna say I'm not,
I'm
over
not-
30 years.
I don't really care
But
what
that
district
is a standard practice in every, stretch pay is the way you work for 9 months and you get paid for 12 months. But the benefit that is, like you say, if you're getting medical benefits, you want that 3 months.
Right.
You know, because if not, then you don't have benefits for 3 months until, August, September rolls around again.
Or you have to come in with a check.
Or you
to
have
pay
to
for
come in with a check and pay for it.
That's right.
Which if you're not getting paid, you don't have a check to come in with it. So that, I mean, it's a standard practice. It's not like we're doing something outside of the realm of any other district or any other school. That's the standard most.
And it's really a safeguard to
educators.
protect the
Like I said, I'm
employee.
glad we're taking a look.
So you know that you already have employment,
That's what
but
I
your
said.
employment is consistent and your benefits are consistent as
Right,
well.
absolutely. No, I understand. I mean, I appreciate that you guys are looking at it too, because if somebody's not taking benefits, then maybe there is something else that can be done in that case for those people. But it's a standard practice, I mean, for
Well,
as
it's-
long as I've been an educator.
It's a strange job market now. It's really, when you have places like Target that are paying as much as school districts, these used to be prime jobs in
Yes.
terms of the hourly rate and benefits. We're now competing against places that we've never had to compete against for employees. So we're going to have to adapt and figure it out, because we do have good people that are just telling us, look, I need my $19 an hour to feel like $19 an hour, and I'll
A
figure
lot
out
of the
the
problem
rest.
with that is that it's hard to compete with an institution that pays you for 12 months of work, and we're paying you for 9 months of work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Absolutely.
compete with that. And the hourly rate you would have to go to compete with that and pay them the same salary they earn at Target for 12 months and pay them that in 9 months,
Right.
it's very astounding, yeah.
So we continue to work through it.
I think Ms. Shonda Ferguson has been very instrumental in saying, guys, this actually is a benefit to you. Just look at the long range as opposed to the short-term situation. And I think that she's been able, along with Ms. Wilson, have been able to encourage people to stay. But back to your question, Brandon, it's not that they're going to other institutions, because we are all the same. They may go to a Target or to a Walmart because they get that 12-month pay, like Mr. Seymour said, but they also get discounts. So that helps along the way.
Right. Yep. Well,
But you
thank
are
you.
look-
Appreciate it.
But you are looking at other options. I mean, is there something else you can do? I mean, do you take,
Well-
instead of doing stretch pay 9/12, do you only withhold the benefit piece
Well,
for the
we-
3 months or something like that?
Well, part of the problem is if they have benefits, you have to take out all the pay for the summer health care. And
Then they almost
this has
get
happened to
nothing.
me before. And they might not get checks
That's right.
in, starting May 15th. And they want to know, where's their May 15th
Right.
check? Well, it went to healthcare for
Because you had to stretch
for
it through the
next 3
benefits.
months.
Yes.
Because you have no stretch pay. And within the next year, the transportation department at the district I was at said, we no longer want to be paid on time, we want stretch pay. Because they didn't realize that what was going to happen in May 15th with,
Yeah. The other advantage is employees who have a spouse, it works because they don't have to take the benefits. So, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you call the vote?
Mr. Birdie,
Aye.
Ms. Bryant,
Aye.
Dr. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn.
Aye. Vote passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Agenda 10.02, which is the Early Childhood Central Campus Construction, the change order. Mr. Smith?
Yes, Madam President. The recommendation is to approve the future early childhood central campus construction change order as presented. And you can see the total cost of work is $172,000, and it's 252 calendar days. But remember, this is all about the switchgear. The switchgear actually took 56 weeks for the equipment to come, which is the backbone of the whole entire electrical system. So we can put all these electrical things in place, but we don't even know if it's going to power up appropriately without the switchgear. So the switchgear is still delayed, and that's the purpose of the change order. Mr. Seymour, do you need to add anything?
No, I don't think so. Most of this change order is to compensate our workers because of the delay in time, I believe, isn't
Yes,
it?
because they still are
To
working.
maintain our,
Yes, sir.
to maintain our staff.
Yes.
For a longer period of time because of the delay in deliveries.
So are they able to do other things, or just?
They are.
that's
They're
the-
still working,
Yeah, so
yes.
it's, okay.
They're doing other things, but it wasn't within the scope of the first contract.
And every project in this region is going through the same thing. Everybody needs to switch gear in order to make it work. It's just like people needing the chip to make the cars go.
I think we understand, and it's, they expect it by April, it is the thought. I know the thoughts and the true end result may not match up, so unfortunately, that's the condition of the economy, or the industry right now, that there's delays.
Yeah, and we don't want those workers to be idle and let them go to another project because we may not get them back. So that's the other consequence.
I believe it's a 252-day extension.
Yes.
Yeah, so just to clarify, instead of April.
Can we get a motion on the floor?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we need a
sorry, sorry.
motion, sorry.
My bad.
Thank you.
I jumped ahead. I would take a motion, please.
I would like to, motion that we approve the future Early Childhood Center Central Campus Construction Change Order as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. Now we can
Now we can.
get to the meat of what we want to talk about.
We're anxious to talk about this. Just for clarification purposes, and for those of you watching, the change order, the completion of the project originally, I'll use that quotation marks, was supposed to be in April of '23, and now because of the change order, that has been extended to December of 2023.
Okay, any other questions? Or
No, just, and although the cost of this change order is real money, if you're looking at it in terms of the total contract, we're probably around 3%.
Yes, sir.
Of the total of
That
the
is
project.
accurate.
To be able to keep those people and be relatively certain that we'll get it done.
Yeah, because if we lose the workers, the process then becomes unlimited. We don't know when we would get them back. And we don't actually want to, I know Mr. Denny's been working on this, we don't want to switch machinery. We don't want to have a Siemens part go with another part. That could actually make the whole thing just not work like it should. So we want to try to stay consistent with the materials, the raw materials, as well as the workers, in order to keep it consistent. This is still the same effect of COVID. COVID is still creating this storm, so we have to just roll along and get it done. But one thing that I am actually happy about, we were one of the few districts that was able to open 2 incredible schools during COVID. So that was very impressive.
And we were on time and under
Absolutely.
budget.
Yeah, those-
Those were all really important components. Thank you. Any other questions or comments before we call the vote? Okay, without seeing none, Mr. Seymour, will you call?
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye. Vote passes unanimously. The next agenda point is 11.01. It's the Board of Education reports. And we'll start with the legislative report. Dr. Johnson?
Thank you, Madam President. There's a few items that's worth noting for the legislative report. The first is the at-choice vouchers. That debate continues. A school district in Ohio is suing and has a lawsuit out against the Ohio School Voucher Program, and it has made it to the Attorney General's office. And their argument is that the Ed Choice program diverts funds from public schools to private schools. Their argument is that lawmakers increased the private school vouchers for high school students to $7,500 for for high school, and for K through 12, $5,500 for K through 12, and that the amount for the public schools has remained at $4,300. So that's their argument. Originally, I believe the Cup-Patterson Fair School Funding Plan was supposed to be the equalizer or whatever for the attempt to remedy the statewide school funding program or the problem that we were having, but it has not done what it was maybe anticipated that it would do. The big issue that they have on the table is that public schools educate about 90% of the children in Ohio, while they only receive 75% of the funding. And which would mean that 10% of the students are receiving 25% of the funding.
That is accurate.
So that doesn't, set right with the people. So this one school district in Ohio does have this lawsuit. We need to pay attention to it because everyone is going to be affected by this. So stay tuned because this debate will continue to go on. So the other things that we have in legislative news is that the General Assembly has met and they have discussed the issues affecting the Ohio public school education system. There were a few things that were up for debate, which was the debate over Fair School Funding Plan, which is kind of a little bit of what I just mentioned, reorganizing the Department of Education and the role of the Board of Education, and the expansion of the voucher program, or the backpack bill is what it's known as. Further, more legislation committees have been scheduled to meet. They were scheduled to meet at the end of this month or the beginning of February, so I'm not sure whether they've actually met yet. We haven't gotten any new information on those. So we'll have to wait and continue to monitor that to see what will occur, if anything, with those three issues that I just mentioned. The last thing I'd like to share in this report is regarding the legislation that's focusing on alleviating the state school teacher shortage, and we talked a little bit about the special ed teachers who were leaving, and for those reasons, there is a House Bill 554 that talks about the underlying measures that would require the State School Board of Education to issue 2-year teaching licenses to former educators whose certifications have lapsed. So this is something that's new. It hasn't been done in the past, but they're considering this. It's going to go up for a vote. This was pitched as a partial way of trying to fix the staffing problem that schools are facing across all districts in Ohio. So the problems that we have with, keep maintaining teachers in the classroom, or especially our supplemental staff, like the special eds and the aides. All districts are having those same issues. There were quite a few points that I thought were important to summarize, and I'll just leave you with this. There is, we just did a change order, so it's worth mentioning that they're going to require the Ohio School Facilities Construction Commission to share the increased cost in its proportion with the original, contract. What did it look like as compared to? So ours was a little bit different, but, it's worth mentioning because we made it through before all of that happened. Also, to allow charter schools to calculate, and this is a big one because that goes back to that funding issue, allow charter schools to calculate full-time equivalency on the 22-23 school year because they said that they had additional students who had enrolled. That means money comes out of the public school and goes to those schools. So that's another one to watch. Now, these aren't things that have been enacted into law. These are things that are on the table. Also, they're looking to repeal the language for registered behavior technicians and certified behavior analysts who work under the psychology department in schools, because as it has stood, these people were not being certified necessarily to take care of certain type of services for students. So we know that mental health is a huge issue for our students, so I thought that was also important to highlight. The last thing I want to point out is that the extended graduation pathway for private school students who take the ACT and the SAT in place of the end of the course exams to satisfy graduation requirements. It's kind of issue because if they can do it for the private schools, then they should also do it for the public schools.
Correct.
So it's something that, these are just things as an educator, when I read these, that's what, makes my antennas stand up. Those are the things that are important. So that's all I have right now. I did email this report to my board colleagues for you to read. And thank you, Madam President. That's all I have at this time.
One other addition, Dr. Johnson, I know you saw this in your report because we discussed it. The reason this voucher thing is not moving with any kind of real urgency is because there are other legislators that are saying, okay, if the kids are going to another opportunity, a better opportunity because they received a voucher, let's make them have an assessment. Let's see if they've improved. If they haven't improved, then there becomes another conversation.
That's true.
And when you said that, one last point that I did remember reading, and it was probably in that long list that I had highlighted, those students who are taking CCP classes who are military families, and if they move because of their military parents, then they're trying to work for them to do online to finish that course, because usually they just lose out, so I don't know that affects any of our CCP students, College Credit Plus CCP students, but if it does, that's another thing to keep our eye on in academics. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. On to 11.02, which is a report from the Great Oaks Career Technical Center. Mr. Birdie?
I emailed some of the normal reports to everyone earlier today. I'll highlight a couple of things that happened at our January board meeting. The board elected Mary Cleveland from Princeton as our chair of the Great Oaks Board of Directors. And Mary is the first African-American to hold this position since Great Oaks Career Campus's inception in 1969. At the meeting, the board was sworn in by Hamilton County Commissioner Stephanie Summerow Dumas, and Jessica Miranda, a former Winton Woods school board member and current state representative, also came to the Great Oaks board and addressed the board and thanked everybody for their service. And then we had one Winton Woods student who was recognized, and that was LaBrea Smith. I'm assuming no relationship. She's in the Scarlet Oaks Exercise Science Program. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Birdie. The next agenda point is 12.01, which is board motions and recommendations. The only thing I'm going to throw out there is I sent a question to each of my colleagues about a board retreat on a date, thinking February 25th is one of the things, but if you want, we'll have to figure out what we want to do, but I did just want to bring that up. The retreat's a really important component where the board can grow and exercise our understanding of our responsibilities. So I was going to just formally say that in the meeting. We don't have to determine the date right now, but I think one of the tentative dates that I got was February 25th, which is a Saturday. I don't know how that looks with anybody else. You're welcome to kind of weigh in on it tentatively. I won't lock you in, but.
Ms. Kuhn, do you have an idea about the hours of the retreat?
It would just be a day, I'm thinking like from 9 to 2, something that won't be too encompassing. I'm looking for something that's cost-effective from a point of view, from a district point of view, but to get the most out of our balance. I think Dr. Johnson had, speaking of being frugal, had something at our OSBA meeting, and that may be an option too for us to be able to enhance some of our boardsmanship.
If you,
So-
if you come up with a date as soon as you can, our chef, Mr. Doctor, would be more than happy to compliment us like he did before.
Sure.
With any food that you can get out there, you can get, he is better.
Right, no, I totally agree. I think
Yes.
he's awesome.
Yes, he does.
Perfect, thank you.
So do you want us to discuss this, or you want us just to get back to you later?
Well, we've run out of time. I don't mind having a discussion right now. We probably have just a couple minutes if we can. So we can go ahead and discuss.
Were you thinking of having a representative from Ohio School Boards there?
I had, I don't know how I did this. I
That would-
won a certificate at the OSBA.
Yeah, that could
so I don't
dictate
know.
some of your options.
Yeah, that might offset some of the cost. I don't know how much of the cost. I'd have to get in contact with them and say, hey, I have this certificate and, you know, what can we do with it and who can we get? I don't have any of those details though.
Or if you have a topic. Dr. Johnson,
Yes.
you worked with that lady at Ohio School Boards to
Oh,
come up
yes.
with the topic and everything, right?
Oh, yes, we did before.
And as you know, they want the PO before they'll,
Right.
Right. Well, that's why I wanted to kind of get it started, so
Yeah.
if it was coming up, I mean, it's already.
And you need to get on their calendar
Yeah,
too. That's
yeah.
the thing.
And they may have some
So
other-
hopefully, I mean, if we say February the 25th Saturday is good for us, is it good for them? Well, usually they like for you to send about 2 days,
Yeah.
2 to 3, you know,
Yeah.
so that they can pick, so.
So, but if you have a second date, so I was thinking a first date, I think February 25th, and then maybe a second date. Brandon, did you have possibly a second date that?
At the time we spoke, the
Oh.
25th was my only open day.
That's okay.
But that's closing very quickly.
You're a popular guy, man. I gotta book you before I book everybody else.
I don't play about my money.
Well, we'll work on getting that, but that was your only date. for
That
dates,
is
right?
correct.
Okay. Well, let's work on doing that. So, I will get back to the board on that. We won't have a final determination on that at the moment. Okay. Moving on to 13.01, which is comments from the Board of Education, our members, the superintendent and the treasurer. I'll go with Mr. Seymour, but I have a feeling I know what he may say. He doesn't.
no, thank you.
Mr. Brandon Smith?
Congratulations to all of our recognitions and recipients. We appreciate everything that you do for Winton Woods. Thank you.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes, I just want to throw it out there that we did get an email about the Warrior Expert program that we have. We are looking for mentors for our students. And it just basically, if you have a business, if you're passionate about your work, if it's just something that you could come in and share, there's a link out on our website that you can click for the Warrior Expert. You could come in and talk about your job, you know, what you do, what your job connects to. It's just a good way to give back to the community, and you could pick the date and time that you could come, and we all would welcome you to come. The other thing I wanted just to remind that midterm grades are fast approaching, along with parent-teacher conferences. So if you're missing any work, let's get it in there and get it caught up so that you can get that interim report card, which is going to come out in February the 10th. And we do have a college and career fair transition a day coming up. So we want to kind of support that board if we can, if you're available on that day to support that. And also to our listening audience, if you have someone who is in their senior year or 11th grade year and not really sure what they want to do, it's a good way to come out and get an opportunity to see. And again, thank you to everyone who takes time to pour into our students. We appreciate you. We appreciate the teachers and staff and everyone who has helped us do what we do. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bryant?
I just want to say thank you to all those who are honored. Thank you for the opportunity and the recognition as a school board member. And I want to apologize for my late arrival. I was out of town cheering on the Bengals. So I want to say hoo-day. I'm normally on time for these meetings, but I just wanted to say that. So thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Mr. Birdie?
I really enjoyed the story about Mr. Landon Anderson. And
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
How he's dealing with everything and working through as an entrepreneur and looking to take advantage of Miami University opportunities, as well as taking responsibility for his actions and positively, finding a positive way to work through that. So that was a great story. Appreciate everything he's doing within the district. Thank you to the organizations that provided gifts in support of our students and staff and everybody around here as well. So, and with that,
Thank you.
close.
Mr. Smith? Superintendent Smith?
Yes, Ms. Kuhn, I'd like to reflect on Landon a little more. So when we received this conversation about students being able to earn an associate's degree at Miami Hamilton while they are in their, when they graduate from high school with a diploma, we were actually further back on the list. And I think it's from the initiatives of Mr. Martin inviting the dean of that college to come and visit Winton Woods, doing the honors diploma, doing recognition ceremonies. He's been so impressed that he's moved us at the beginning of the list above some other schools that I will not name. But it's given us some opportunities, and we have 15 to 20 students that will take advantage of that opportunity, and it doesn't cost them any money. They will earn an associate's degree when they graduate and their diploma at the same time.
Yes, it's a tremendous program. It's a great opportunity for our students, and I hope as many can take advantage of it as possible. I would like to thank always all of our staff and the many people that it takes to make our school district run. That's a really important component. I appreciate the awards and the recognition of our students. That's one of the things that gives me back a lot of energy to do this job. So it's very rewarding to see the benefits of our work. You have something else?
Yeah, if you want to hear how your seniors feel about their district, I know we took 2 years off because of COVID, but I'm back with the conversation with the superintendent where I'm meeting with 10 seniors each session. We had 4 last week, and I think Ms. Jackson has it set up. The goal is to complete 300 by the time the school year finishes. So if you want to be part of it, their insight to education, their ideas about their future opportunities are just incredible. So we have prepared our students very, very well. But again, if you want to get the schedule, you can get it from Ms. Jackson and pop in anytime.
Okay, thank you. Again, thank you very much. We'll move on to 14.01 on board. There is a need for an executive session. So if I'd like to entertain a motion.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session to consider confidential information related to the marketing plan, specific business strategies, production techniques, trade secrets, and personal financial statements of the application for economic development assistant, and to negotiate with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mouthful.
It's been motioned and seconded. Mr. Seymour, would you call the vote?
Mr. Birdie? Aye. Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith? Aye. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye. The vote passes unanimously. We're now going to go into a closed session, but I will do something we haven't done in a while. We will have to perhaps take one additional action item when we come out of executive session. So I would like to ask Waycross Media to stay until we do come out of executive session. So just with that little housekeeping point, we will adjourn to executive session, but we will return. Call to order the Winton Woods City School Board of Education meeting. Randy, or Mr. Seymour, would you call the vote, or the roll?
Mr. Birdie? Present. Ms. Bryant?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Present. Okay, thank you. We're at 14. We would like to let's see, we have now the Winton Woods City School Board meeting call. There's a a motion that, or a resolution that we were going to consider. I would like somebody to make a motion and second, perhaps. And
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution approving a tax increment financing exemption of the city of Forest Park, Ohio, and a compensation agreement as presented.
I second the motion.
Okay, it's been first and seconded, or motioned and seconded. Any conversation or discussion? No other conversation? Very good. Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, will you call the vote?
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye. Vote passes unanimously. Thank you. With that, 15.01, we'd like to thank Waycross Media for your service, videotaping, and keeping you a little bit longer than normal. And with that, I call the meeting of the Winton Woods School Board of Education on Monday, January 23rd, 2023 adjourned. Thank you. Have a safe evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.